Hey, what's going on for 99 fans? It's your boy Music Nerd, and this is my keys to the suddenly huge top 20 matchup between UM and USF. Let's get into it. All right, so first things first. Keys for Miami to win: dominate the line of scrimmage, which means you got to run the ball very well, but it also means you got to get pressure on Byron Brown, and you have to win those matchups between the offensive line and the defensive line. Miami has a marked advantage there, so you got to play their strengths. Like I said, number two, run the ball. Mark Fletcher, Shamar Brown, Jordan Lyle got to eat this game. They got to eat. And if they do, I think Miami is going to be able to win comfortably. And number three, limit the mistakes. The way Boise State and Florida lost to USF is that USF played very disciplined football and they forced them into a lot of mistakes. I think if Miami is able to play clean football like they played the first two games, Miami is going to actually be able to win this pretty comfortably. I think that Miami won't make the mistakes that Florida made. Florida abandoned the run game, tried to get cute a little bit, in my opinion. So instead of really winning the game, they tried to, make a statement, I feel. And I think that's really, really hurt them. And the fact of the matter is they just really weren't clicking on all cylinders. So thus, USF kind of stayed back, waited for them to make mistakes, and they pounced on those mistakes. Now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing bad to say about USF. USF is a very good team. They look like the G5 representative for the playoff right now. But I think if Miami plays a boring game, which some will think, basically they run the ball, they dominate the line of scrimmage, they dominate the time of possession, Miami win this game comfortably. And look, if I'm Mario Cristobal, I'll take a boring win against a top 20 opponent any day. That's what you need if you want to keep going and build to what you want to build to this season. Because right now, if you're having the type of season that you want, the goal's got to be being in that playoff chase and being in that national championship chase. So a game like this, which can trip you up, you just go out and win it. I think Miami didn't do that. They had two games last year that they just didn't go out there and win it because I feel like they tried to get a little bit too cute in that Georgia Tech game and the Syracuse game. They should have ran it a lot more in both those games. I think that Carson Beck is where him and Cam Ward differ. I think is that I don't think Carson Beck has a problem handing the ball off 40 times. I think Cam Ward kind of did. And even though Miami was one of the tops when it came to yards per carry, I think that Miami passed the ball a lot more than it probably should have down the stretch. Now, don't get me wrong, Cam Ward was the best quarterback we've had in a long time, but games like this kind of reminds me of the Syracuse game when it comes to the offensive firepower that the other team has. You have to control the ball, and that's one thing you have to do. So now, one thing too on defense, Byron Brown, you have got to keep him contained. Now, it's going to be hard to keep him contained. He's a very good quarterback. Byron Brown's probably I think right now, because he's been in the system for a while, is a bit more threatening than CJ Carr was right now so far. I mean, DJ Lagway is probably going to be the most talented quarterback that Miami faces this season, besides, unless they play. No, actually, no. DJ Lagway probably is going to be the most talented quarterback, but Byron Brown right now is going to be the best quarterback until you get into the nitty-gritty of the season. Byron Brown has command of that offense. Goal is trust him. He gave some problems last year with his feet. He was able to get around and kind of show the cracks that Miami eventually would have defensively, because Miami really hadn't had any defensive issues until that USF game. So Gold is just going to come out with a few plays. I think that plays to his strength. So you have to limit that. I think Bain and Messidor have to be monsters again. You have to be able to contain him. You can't break contain when it comes down to it. You have to play disciplined football. That's where it comes down to. Boring game. You have to play disciplined football. That means Bain and Messidor staying in the rushing lanes, keeping him contained in the pocket, and force him to pass. Don't let him get outside the pocket. Now, he's going to run a little bit. I think that's where the linebackers come in. Torrey and Basaith have to have huge games again. And then you look at the cornerbacks. I've been impressed so far. I've been really impressed so far with the cornerback play. The safeties have been a bit shaky here and there, but I think if the cornerbacks play the way they have, Xavier Lucas, OJ Frederic, God, I'm forgetting somebody. Y'all gotta forgive me. It's been a long day. I'm coming off of work. So, number 0, basically, I forgot his name, but he played in a tremendous game last week. All the tackles were tackles for loss. If he plays again like that, we're gonna be great and gravy. So, look, I know people want to say, hey, we got to play the big plays. We want pick sixes. We got all this. Like, you don't need all that. What you need to do is not make mistakes. Like, set up the play action pass game. That's how you're going to be able to get USF. Set up the game the right way. Run the ball. And then Miami's going to win this game, I think, going away. I think Miami pulls away in the second half. For me, I got it 37-20. Miami. Probably maybe 20-7 at half, basically. But Miami just puts them away when it comes down to it. And so I know that Miami's not going to overlook this game because of what USF did to Florida, and also too because of what USF kind of said last year and what they're saying now this week. I think Mario's going to have them ready, and I'm going to be. I think Miami's going to show the nation that it's for real this year. So I don't know what that means. I have them winning this game, so it really wouldn't change my perception of them year long. Their losses, in my opinion, are still to come because that's what I have predicted. We'll see how Florida looks tomorrow. Actually, today is early Saturday, and this will come out on Saturday. I'm sorry, y'all. But we'll see how Florida looks against LSU. I wouldn't be surprised even after them losing last week if Florida was at going to Baton Rouge and upset them. Or I also wouldn't be surprised if LSU boat raced them. We'll see. But like I said, I think 37-20 UM. Run the ball, control the line of scrimmage. Francisco Malinoa, Anez Cooper, All-American type lineman right there. Markel Bell, All-American type lineman. All ACC at the very least. His offensive line is incredible. And they're going to have to go out and show it against a smaller USF defensive line who hasn't graded out very well. But then again, they got athletes. They got P4 athletes who've transferred in. So, you can't take them for granted. But I think if Miami imposes its will in this game, Miami's going to win going away. So we'll see y'all next week for UM versus UF with the predictions there. And make sure you check out the brand new episode of Off One Ninth Podcast talking about the NFL and talking about the first week that we had a couple weeks ago. We love y'all. We'll see y'all soon. Peace out. Off One Ninth.